Why do I want to be a software engineer? It's been this real natural progression in my life. It seemed wherever I kind of came to a problem that I felt like I wanted to solve or to increase efficiency, something I really enjoyed doing, or even just like kind of providing something to make things a little bit easier. I kept kind of leaning back on creating little apps or little programs, whether it was at home or at school or anywhere. I really enjoyed kind of going through the process of a lot of the tools I didn't know how to make and just kind of fumbling my way through it and coming to a roadblock and then overcoming that one and so on. And then pushing it out to the world is very enjoyable. And then taking a real hard look at what happened once it was pushed out there, going through an iterative process of realizing, oh, it needs these extra features, or, just kind of starting that process almost over again, looking at the new problem, or maybe it is good and maybe it's where it needs to be. But a lot of times I found that was kind of the secondary enjoyment as you create it, and then later you get to kind of even make it a little bit better, especially, like I said, that efficiency process. I was kind of always looking to get a little tweak and make it just a little bit better. And, just this constant drive to solve problems and improve things. I really enjoy and appreciate how software engineer kind of encompasses all these new passions that I kind of discovered over time. Why do I want to work for Northrop Grumman? Well, first, it's one of the top 5 government contracts to work for, with well over $10 billion worth of contract obligations. So, right there, you're dealing with a large company with many opportunities. And additionally, their vision is the armed forces and advancing weapons and technology, which is definitely, a vision that I can embrace. I can appreciate someone who's trying to help out with national security and helping our soldiers. Although I never served, it's just something that I really have an appreciation for. And they also have a great reputation to being a place you really want to work. I looked at several websites, and the reviews from not just like current employees but past employees is that it's just a fantastic place to work, and that Northrop seems to be a company that invests in high quality people and trying to get them to find what fits them best. They really kind of appreciate that, rising tides raises all boats, is that if I'm happy, their employees happy, then I'm going to produce more and do better for them and their clients, and everybody wins then. And so I really can appreciate that in a company, that if they want and care what's best for them, that's definitely a place that I want to work and excel in. Tell me about a time that you handled a conflict with your colleague. Yeah, so it's always a little awkward to talk about conflict, but a moment that always sticks out in my mind was I was heading on this community event, and there was just under 1,000 students, and we had a couple hundred parents and about 50 staff members. So it was a pretty big community event. Took a lot of planning, and it's the day of the event, and one of the staff members that was supposed to be covering they never showed up. They were supposed to, and they just didn't. And so I was kind of sent scrambling, and got the coverage that I needed to, and it was not a huge deal. And I think outward facing from the students and the parents, it probably wasn't that big a deal, but was surprised that that's what happened. So the whole event ends, and everything went pretty well. But I kind of went home and really thought about it and decided that I was going to give it a day to really think about and make the right choice. But it was something that I needed to address, that this was something that was, for the future. And that ended up kind of being the focus, is that I wanted to improve this from now on, that there was going to be more community events, and I was going to need to lean on this particular person, and that I needed them there. And it wasn't about talking about what happened in the past, but more about improving the future. So I went and talked, and it was awkward, but we got through it, and it turned out it was a little bit of what tends to be the problem is just communication. They had talked to my supervisor, and my supervisor just hadn't told me, and she hadn't told me, and it was just kind of left. Nobody knew. So we kind of talked about in the future, if that were to happen, just make sure that I was being informed so that I could, provide the correct coverage. And what it was kind of neat at the end of the day was we found a little bit of a gap in what we were doing. And so I went back and kind of made a real-time tracker of where people were and what places needed additional filling. And it ended up that it made us stronger in the end, because now I had a way of taking places where there was almost too many helpers and getting them to places that either didn't have any or didn't have enough. So it gave us a real-time ability to kind of shift our staff members to get them where they needed to be to make, the best event that we could. So, at the end, although conflict is difficult, I feel like it not only helped me, but also the event in the end. So that was one of the times that I had conflict with a colleague.